The first time I get on here and I get ready to start the camera and I hit the wrong button. We're gonna have to wait and see if it's as good as the GoPro, but time will tell. Hey, how's it going, everybody? Today is Sunday night, about 7:11 p.m. on the 8th of August. So still got plenty of summer left, and I just wanted to do a quick ride video, kind of update you guys on the channel and some of what's going on with me and stuff. A lot of the updates for the channel under the community tab. Look on the channel and there's a community tab. There's not a lot of people that use those, but I think it's a good way to engage with the audience and kind of give updates in between some of the videos. So I just wrote actually something in the community tab a couple days ago, and you can check that out, but I wanted to add a little bit more. This road is very bumpy, and I'm testing out my new cam here. That's the one that's facing me, because I want to see, I don't know what I'm going to do with this scenario yet. I bought this brand of camera, and this is with my own money. I mean, I paid for it out of my own money. I'm not being sponsored, or it's not a gift from anyone. This is the Akaso Brave 7LE, I believe it's called. And so I wanted a different perspective, not only forward facing, but I wanted a perspective of facing me, because I think it's important for I like channels that do that, because it kind of gives a different perspective and shows who's doing the jibber jabber and stuff. So I personally like it. Not everybody likes it. I wanted another camera just to kind of capture those angles, you know. So I'm checking out this, it's called an Akaso brand. It's not a GoPro. It's another brand that, from the reviews and everything I read, actually pretty good quality, believe it or not, for like a fraction of the price that you'd pay for a GoPro. This brand right here, the Akaso Brave 7, we're doing an actual live ride, and I have this arm, and it's a little bouncy. You can see how bouncy that is. So this does have stabilization in it, but I don't know, I might have to get maybe a gimbal or something that reduces some of this stress, because it's kind of, unless I make it shorter, but then you're looking at all sky shots. So this has a super wide view, but it's not, I don't know if it's as wide as the GoPro. I didn't do the specs on the GoPro as far as the super wide, what the angle actually is. I think it's 170 degree super wide on this Akaso brand, but I can't be 100% sure. I needed a solution to kind of show this angle, and I'm going to get more down the road. I don't want this to turn into like a big production. Let's see. They're actually going to have this is going to be a Starbucks. They're building all kind of stuff. They got Casey's here that you remember me talking about. Now this is going to be a Starbucks. And yeah, actually that's open now, that road. I thought maybe the wind just blew it, but it's, yeah, they took the sign down. So this actually goes through, you'll be able to go through the Starbucks. I think it's one that you can actually go into as well. They're still just finishing up the touches. So it's gonna have a drive-through, apparently. Yep, is it? got to be a drive-through. Yeah, I think the drive-through. Okay, the drive-through's over here, I believe. Let's see. Yeah, so the drive-through is over there, and it's going to be one of those Starbucks that you can actually, it looks like you can go inside and sit down, which is nice. Have a little bit of seating in there because they got a parking lot and stuff, obviously. So that's Starbucks, and then we got the Casey's that's fairly new. This Casey's has only been here for probably maybe 2 months, if that. And they're probably going to start doing some more around here too, I'm sure. So I wanted a different perspective, and this is like the third time I've been out today. The first time, I get on here, and I get ready to start the camera, and I hit the wrong button. See, I got this little remote here, this little pad, and what I was doing was I was hitting the red button, which is actually the shutter button to take a picture. So I was starting my camera, and I'm like, okay, press that to record. Well, I was just pressing that to take a picture. So I get back to the house, and I start looking at all my footage, and like, oh my goodness, it's 3 photos of me when I just did the stop and start, where I thought I did the video, but it was a photo. So live and learn. So then the second time I went out today, I switched the camera to face this way. You can have a view on the front here, and there's a view on the back. So I learned a valuable lesson. If anybody's using this Akaso brand, there's a viewing LCD on the front, but what happens is you can't, I don't think you can actually hit record if you're viewing from this side. So anyway, I had something messed up, and then it put it in like a linear mode that was really close up. I mean, this is pretty close it is, but you can imagine, I'll show you, I had it like right in my face. So I took all this footage of me riding around, and I had the super close-up view on, so it's like, in your face. You know, I'm like, oh my goodness. So this is my third attempt riding the bike with this camera to check it out. Again, it's all new to me, so I got to figure this out. But this camera does all the stuff. It shoots in 4K, 60 frames per second. I don't think it does 120, but really, honestly, I don't know who uses 120 frames per second. I shoot in 2.7K 60. That's the ratio that I use, and my videos, I believe, are fairly good. And that's with an old GoPro. This is a GoPro Hero 6 Black, so this has been out a long time, and it's refurbished. I didn't spend a lot of money on it. So I got this whole setup for probably, I got 2 cams, the mic, all this setup for well under $500. This Akaso Brave 6 was on sale on Amazon, $169 regularly, and it was like on sale for $111 or something. So I bit the bullet, and I'm like, you know what? I need another perspective on my view, so it's worth a shot to try it out. And if it's not something that I'm gonna be happy with, well, then I'll send it back. You get like, I think 30 days, no questions asked. So I'm gonna use it, and I'm doing that now, and I'm gonna test it, and we're gonna see what happens. But I like the view, I like the perspective. When I watch other Motovlog channels, I like to see the rider sometimes. You know, maybe not the whole time, but you mix it up a little bit. So now this gives me a little bit more depth that I can mix it up. It just makes content to me a little more interesting. Not everybody cares about that, but I do. I like to kind of mimic what the channels that I like to view, because I figure if they're that large and people are really liking the content, that's kind of my inspiration. Now, I don't have tens of thousands of dollars, of course, like some of these channels do into their gear, and I don't think you need that. With that said, this I'm filming this Akaso in 2.7K at 60 frames per second, and I have the super wide on, and the camera's not that far. I would say from my face to the camera is probably, maybe 15 inches or so, so it's not that far away. I don't think it gives as wide as the GoPro, but then again, it could be closer than I think. It's not hard to use. It comes with a waterproof case, okay? It's like encases the whole thing where you can actually go underwater, but this is waterproof to a certain extent. like an IP, it's like a rating of 67 or something. So you can ride in the rain, you can get it a little wet. You just can't go like deeper than 30 feet with it or something like that. It's rated, unless you put it in the case, which they give you. It's a full clear waterproof case. The problem with it is you don't have any protection in the back. So if you are following traffic or something and a stone kicks up and pokes it right in the back of that camera, then yeah, that could damage it. So I got to look for something for that. I think they make these clear films that you could put over, like a protection film in the back like you see on phones. I'm not ever following traffic that close where I get a lot of rocks. I don't think I've ever had a rock kick back on me yet in the 2 years that I've been riding, so it's not a big deal. They do sell a case for it that's just a wraparound case. It doesn't have any front or rear protection, but it's just a case that allows you to hot swap it off these whatever attachment you have. So I'm probably, if I decide to keep this camera, I'm definitely going to get one of those. It's just a case that goes around it, and it's easier to take off and on. The mount, the little knob that you put on so you can mount it on there, is where the battery compartment is. So you got to take this, unscrew this little fitting all the time to get to the battery. And it's not a huge deal, but I'm all about simplicity, so I'm going to get the case that makes it more easier to hot swap, where you just leave it on the bike and then I stick my camera in the case just like I do my GoPro, and I'm good to go. I'm still not 100% sold on it yet. It'll be all depending on what this video looks like when I get it home and look at the footage. From what I saw earlier today, even though I had my crazy close-up view on, the colors were nice. The quality, we're gonna have to wait and see if it's as good as the GoPro. Time will tell. And for only $100, if it does the job, which is just basically giving me a different perspective where I can swap it out once in a while to kind of show behind me or me, that would be cool, because I'm not spending a lot of money to do that. And the adapters and stuff that I bought are really inexpensive. I can see right now when I go over bumps, this is kind of bouncy, and I really don't know what to do about that. You don't get that because it's on your head with the GoPro. Your cushion of your neck and you as a body absorbs the blows. But when you got a camera on the bike, unless you're spending $500 on the top of the line camera, you're probably going to get some shake. That's just the nature of the beast, unless you buy what they call a gimbal that kind of is forgiving. But hell, the gimbal would probably be costing more than the camera, I would say. So if you got any ideas, send them my way. This is the first time I've ever had a camera set up that wasn't on me as a person, so I'm not really sure how to make that any more steadier. Open for ideas, but I thought I'd just try it because I do like that perspective. But it has the auto exposure. It's got, everything's automatic on this, but you can control. I didn't see where I can control my ISO speed. There's a auto white level, I think. It's either on or off, and I have not yet figured out where the ISO hides, like, ISO 100 or 800, and I've looked at all the menu systems, so I'm still kind of playing with it, as they say. But again, for only $100, you're gonna have some limitation. This is not really a detailed review on the camera. I'm just talking about it. Wanted to give you the model in case any one of you are thinking about your own Motovlog channel someday, because I know a lot of my subscribers also have bikes. Some of them you already have channels. I already follow you. Some of them don't, maybe are thinking about it, and you do not have to spend a lot of money. The thing that cost most for me was the bike. That's a big expense, but I was going to get the bike regardless if I was going to do a channel or not. So I wanted a motorbike anyway. I figured, well, now that I got the motorbike, I can start filming my rides and see if anybody likes that kind of stuff. And sure enough, it started happening, and they started to follow, and I'm like, wow, people actually watch this stuff. Interesting. But I watched it too. And that's what got me started on thinking about filming my rides, is watching other Motovlogs, and I'm like, that's really sweet. I wonder how they do that. And then I started researching, and I'm like, oh man, that's a lot of money, because I saw some of their cameras and stuff. So then I had to be very selective, and I had to start researching stuff that was still decent quality, but wasn't gonna like make me go out and take a loan out or anything, So then I got this this camera here is a Hero 6 Black, refurbished. I think I only paid at the time like $239 for this, like almost 2 years ago, this GoPro, and it does fine. There's no reason that I needed to spend any more. You can spend a lot of money on the latest and greatest products, right? But do you need to? No, of course not. I'm living proof that you can run a channel, and I guarantee you there's probably people out there that think I have a lot of money invested in my gear, but I don't. I really don't. This camera was $239. This Akaso Brave 7LE was $111. All right, $17 mic, and bada bing. Well, there's a little bit more to it than that, but again, it's not a lot of money. It really isn't. Some of my subscribers that's followed me for a while have seen my channel evolve into a lot of different things, and I think I find myself liking the exploration videos, like doing these little tours around the different areas and the cities and stuff, and I really like to get out there and explore. But then in the winter time, when it's freezing outside, you know, then you got a different dilemma on your hands. You're like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? It's like 30 to, 0 degrees outside. So in the winter time, I haven't really decided yet what I'm going to do, but time will tell, time will tell. Yeah, in the winter time, having a Motovlog channel is rough in the winter. And this camera, unlike my GoPro, this Akaso camera, you can actually put a mic right into the side of it. It's got like a little mini, almost like a USB type adapter. I forget what they call it. But you can actually run a lavalier mic right from it without using an adapter. And that's pretty slick. That's pretty good. Now, people have said, though, at the same time, that the sound is not real great. So I'm going to leave my sound going through the GoPro and the adapter, and I'm not in the sound on my camera. I don't need that, right? So I can just mute that track and just keep the video portion of it. But this allows me to go back and forth, as you know, and I can share a different perspective on the visual. Ooh, somebody's grilling out. That smelled good. So you can look up all the specs on this camera if it's something that you guys might think you'd like. I don't know if I would use it as my full-time camera. I'd rather have my GoPro for that, but it's a good secondary backup. Or you can get one of those 360s, but again, you're up there in price. This was only $111. I didn't want to put $300 into another camera. If I'm going to do that, I'm going to upgrade this one first before I do that. So this one here is pretty much just to kind of have just a little bit of fun with and experiment with. But like I said, the channel is growing. It's I want to thank all the new subscribers that's come aboard recently. I appreciate that. My channel consists of a little bit of variety, and I think people appreciate variety. I know I do. Some of these channels, it's just the same thing over and over again, and I have a tendency sometimes to get bored with that. So I like to do a little bit of variety, as you know, with some of my videos. I might pop in a maintenance video on this bike, or I might ride another motorbike at some demo event. I'll do like some exploration. So it's just about a variety of stuff, of getting outdoors. It always has some type of exploration theme to it, as you know, and that's what I like to do. Because trust me, if you're thinking about doing a channel, you got to do it for you, not anybody else. Do it for you. and do it for what you enjoy to do. I enjoy getting on here and just rambling and checking out places and stuff. When I've been using this camera, it's pretty intuitive. It feels like it's a pretty decent quality. The batteries and the size of this camera is about the same size as the GoPro. It's like the same size of the camera itself and the batteries. Now this battery, honestly, when I was riding earlier today, this battery actually lasted longer. This one died first, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I've been riding that long. And I look at the time on the back of this camera, and it was like 48 minutes. So this one dies at about 45 minutes, I found. And this was going still after 48 minutes, but it was nearing the end. So again, I'd say you're lucky if you get an hour out of this camera. And I don't know if that's the case for a lot of cameras, but I hear it kind of is. Even on the higher end GoPros, the battery life when you're recording is not gonna be any more than an hour. I think on any camera. I could be wrong. So this, I would say 50 minutes to an hour. It comes with a bunch of attachments and stuff. It comes with a bunch of different, not the arms, these arms here, and this is all something I bought separately. This is like a handlebar mount, and any of this I show in my store. Like if you guys are interested in, like, hey, I'd like to do that, I put everything in the Trek shop under the video. There's a link to it, and because I like to be transparent when I do this stuff. So I think it's fun to come out here and present and record your rides. And if you like to do that kind of stuff, then you can do it without killing your wallet, because I'm proof that I can. I did that. So now you can go out and you can spend $5,000 on stuff, or you can spend $500 on stuff. And honestly, it's probably not going to make a huge difference in reality, because the moto video, I watch some channels that are horrible in quality. I really do. But I don't look at that, because they have a good presentation and the story is good, or the information that they're given is good. So it's not all about quality. Quality is a bonus, and it's helpful to have something nicer quality, but it's not the main important thing. The important thing, I would say, is the engagement. Are the people going to really like the video for the entertainment factor, or the knowledge? If you're trying to look up something, right, you're going to have to learn something or be entertained, or a combination of a little bit of both. And some of these channels I watch, the quality, I don't even pay attention to the quality, but it's good enough. Okay, so yeah, I like the camera. I'm going to go take it back to the house right now, and I'm going to see what it looks like in editing. And if you're interested, I'm going to talk about this camera more. Not every video is going to be completely on the camera, but this was just a quick ride just to kind of show you that I'm going to be bringing this other aspect to my videos, and I hope you like it. And I'm still not done though. I might change it up completely. I don't even know. I haven't decided on this 100% yet. But if you see this video, then that means it was good enough to make a video and put it out there. So it's probably going to be something I'm going to keep if you see this video. So stay tuned, and you will see this in a couple days, maybe. And I'll talk more about it another day, okay? But for now, I'm just hoping it looks good in this. It's kind of getting a little darker out.